And something else I do with the notes, every once in a while we might jump to a little further point in the chapter, and I try to indicate it anytime that happens, if there's a change in position or a change in sections. So we're actually jumping to 1.5 temporarily, and then we're going to go back to 1.2 in OpenStax, and we'll keep going and we'll revisit 1.5 again. But this is always a great time to bring up significant figures. Sometimes in chemistry you learn things and you don't really use them a lot. Significant figures are not one of those things. On tests, you get marked down a quarter of the amount that the problem is worth if you mess up your significant figures. So you should pay attention, try to get as comfortable as you can with these significant figures. There's kind of two main rules. The first one is that non-zeros are always significant. So I can ask you guys, give an example. This is just really easy. You can just put down some numbers. As long as they don't include zeros, those are going to be something that do not contain zeros. So this would have 3 significant figures, and we'll abbreviate that with SF. And then maybe we'll try, a decimal. I'm sorry, I can't do a decimal because that includes a 0, right? So we'll do a really, really large number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this has 9 significant figures. So that's pretty easy, right? So non-zeros, they all count. The other rule is about zeros, and they're significant in 2 cases. All right, so zeros between non-zeros are significant. So if I say 3049, that 0 is in the middle. It's significant. I can put a whole lot of zeros in the middle. As long as they're all stuck between numbers, they are all significant. You can also have zeros in a decimal. We're going to look at those on the next point right here, because the only time that zeros matter, besides being in the middle, is when there is a decimal involved. So if you have a decimal and a 0 to the right of a non-zero. So examples of this look like, or maybe, okay, so there has to be a decimal. It's a 2-part situation. So there's a decimal, there's a decimal. Has to be a decimal. If there's a decimal, then the only zeros that count, of course, are the ones in the middle. We already talked about that. And then the ones that are on the right. So he counts and he counts. So it has to be on the right. And then he counts and he counts. This 0 does not count, this 0 does not count, and this 0 does not count. So let's see how well you do. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can figure out how many sig figs these numbers have.